So let's talk about dignity therapy. Okay, so this was an intervention developed to support individuals facing the end of life, and it was created by Dr. Harvey Max Chokanoff, and focuses on preserving dignity and meaning for patients experiencing serious illness. So we'll look at some of the theoretical foundations and the core process and see if this is something you might want to integrate into your own counseling work. So as I mentioned, it was developed by Dr. Harvey Max Chokanoff as a short-term therapeutic intervention for patients with life-threatening illnesses. And he's written a lot about palliative care, so you could look him up and see what I mean. But he's out of Canada and Manitoba. So his this whole body of work differs from traditional life review in that it prioritizes preserving meaningful aspects of life that patients want to share with others. So it's grounded in what patients themselves have said contributes to their sense of dignity at the end of life, specifically meaning making, legacy, and a sense of self worth. So this therapy draws from existential psychotherapy, logotherapy, and life review models, but what makes dignity therapy distinct is its clear focus on preserving a patient's sense of personhood in their final days. And rather than just reflecting on life, the goal is to create a document or a legacy that survives the patient and helps their voice continue to matter um, long after death. So the process begins with a 30 to 60-minute recorded session using open-ended questions, and this is followed by careful transcription and editing to form a coherent narrative. So the patient reviews this transcript and can request revisions, and finally the edited version becomes a legacy document that many choose to pass on to their loved ones. It offers several key benefits. It's brief and accessible even for patients who are very ill. It brings meaning to the patient's final days and can be supportive to family members. The focus is not on deep psychological interpretation, but rather on affirming the patient's values and preserving their voice through a tangible document. This approach addresses some of the emotional suffering that can arise at the end of life, things like fears of being forgotten, feelings of diminished worth, or concerns about loved ones. But beyond the document, what truly matters is that therapeutic relationship, empathy, presence, and positive regard are vital in dignity conserving care. These open-ended questions form the heart of dignity therapy, so they include prompts like, when did you feel most alive? Or what are you most proud of? Or what do you want your loved ones to know? These are not rigid. Therapists adapt them based on the patient's needs, but they are all meant to promote meaning and legacy. And dignity therapy taps into the human need for generativity. That's that desire to leave something behind. So by writing down their thoughts, patients can transcend death, offering guidance, love, and comfort that lives on. So compared to life review therapy, dignity therapy doesn't require a full life narrative. It focuses on what matters most to the patients. Compared to existential therapy, it's more structured and less abstract. And compared to logotherapy, dignity therapy is brief and specifically tailored to the end of life setting. So, to offer dignity therapy, practitioners need skills in deep listening and narrative editing, as well as cultural humility. It's also essential to be comfortable with end of life topics and to reflect on one's own emotional reactions. If you're interested in integrating this into your work, you might consider some formal training, building partnerships with hospice teams, and preparing for the emotional weight of the work. So, as future counselors and therapists, your ability to hold space for others, especially in moments of vulnerability, is one of your greatest tools. And dignity therapy offers a deeply human way to support people in their final days. It affirms that even as life ends, meaning, connection, and legacy endure.